This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media and the Rule Classroom, sponsors of the 2025 Rule Natural Resources Investment Symposium, July 7th through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida, or via live stream in the comfort and convenience of your own home. However you choose to attend, understand that we're going to give you 50 or 55 hours of programming over 4 days, more than you could possibly absorb. To that end, we are going to uh, record every bit of the presentation. You will have access to those recordings for a full year. Further to that end, we are interviewing before the conference the speakers and the exhibitors at the conference. Note that no exhibitor is allowed on our conference floor if they haven't been vetted by me personally. Public companies are owned in my accounts. Service providers are providers who are known to me for many years as being people with no customer complaints among my own former clients. So we're going to get started. Today I'm interviewing a friend of very long standing. Frank, you'll notice I didn't say an old friend, a friend of very long standing. Frank Holmes. We have been customers of each other. We have been competitors of each other. We've been cooperators of each other. Frank, first of all, thank you for decades of efforts on behalf of gold investors, myself included. And thank you, too, for your participation in the 2025 Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Well, that's very kind of you. And thank you, Rick, for being steadfast in maintaining education with investors on the junior exploration space, which has really finally gone positive when we look at on balance volume and 1 year high in volume in the Vancouver Exchange. But you've been relentless and tip my hat off to you.
Frank, tell us something about your background. I know it, but the people watching it don't. Tell us something about your background in investing and your background in precious metals investing so people will care about the answers to the nosy questions I'm about to pose to you.
Well, I'm a Texcan. I say y'all come back A. That means I've spent half my life in Texas. I was originally from Canada, born in Toronto, and went into the brokerage business and was an analyst and covered the gold space and built an institutional trading desk for gold and gold funding. And I was very blessed, Rick. As you know, you meet interesting people on that path. And my first deal I ever did was Franco Nevada with the wonderful people like Pierre Lassonde and Seymour Schulich have been incredible mentors and friends for decades now. So that's been my journey. And I moved to Texas in '90 and have been known for, I wrote a book on the world of gold and the creation of other junior gold mining companies that become something serious. And that's always been an excitement. And we still, like yourself, have maintained our gold funds and have made a commitment. We have two funds. One's only producers, and another one will go into the exploration with great management.
And in fact, Frank, for our audience, you have been running gold oriented mutual funds at US Funds for what, 35 years now? Is that accurate?
35 years.
Yeah. One of the things that we try to do at the conference, Frank, as you know, is invite guests who have been through thick markets and thin markets, people who've been through bull markets and bear markets, and people that have investment expertise over decades. You certainly qualify. So let's begin the question. Let's begin the questions.
Well, before you go to your questions, Rick, sorry to interrupt. Ralph Aldis, our gold mining analyst, who's been also over 35 years, he has more degrees than a thermometer. And he'll be at your conference, and I believe he's speaking. And so he has got a geology degree, a master's of mineral economics, a CFA, and knows how to code on Bloomberg.
Tell us, first of all, Frank, how a young guy in Toronto, new to the brokerage business, who could have focused on anything. You were a smart guy, you were a hungry guy. Uh, why did you choose precious metals? Was it simply because you ran into Seymour Schulich and had a man crush? I mean, what happened?
I think, that your 10 closest friends is usually an association of where you're going to evolve and what you're going to do. And I think I became very steeped in investments. I was originally a quant analyst, looking at 5-year government bonds. In Canada, you take geology classes basically in grade 9, and it's each year till grade 13. Now it's only grade 12. So I understood some of the basics of geology and One of the things my mentor told me that you've got to read the book Rich, Think and Grow Rich, and in that was a chapter on you must identify yourself with an industry and really become immersed into it and passionate about it. And I became in gold. And first, it was the macroeconomic elements of gold and why it's important for portfolio. And then my background in school, all of a sudden, it was easy to put the hand into the glove and fall in love with the whole gold exploration and the three big stages. You know, that huge spike on a discovery, the correction for the development, and then the reset button when it finally goes into production.
It's interesting how you recite that with no difficulties. That's a function, I think, of 30 years or 35 years doing one thing. Tell me, Frank, how you decided to add value in the process by being in the mutual fund business on the buy side after a very successful early career at Merit on the sell side. What prompted you going from the sell side to the buy side?
Here's my libertarian feelings that taxes in Canada were too great. And I only like snow to ski in, and schlepping to school in snow in the winter up to my knees. I finally got tired of in Texas. There's very seldom does it snow. It's hot. I enjoy that. And the tax rate was substantially less when I moved here. So I really actually enjoy San Antonio where I'm based. It's a military town. It's convenient. It's got a wonderful lifestyle, and I get to travel easily from here all over the world.
So you didn't prefer the buy side over the sell side. It was just the opportunity provided by your ability to take over what was then United Services that prompted the move.
No, I think, Rick, it's your journey that you learn so much on that sell side, and then all of a sudden you've made your own wealth as a young person by having investments and making capital gains. So I said, I like the idea of managing the money, and that was sort of the idea that I made most of my wealth is not from salary and bonuses. It was from having a position in a stock at 5 cents that went to $5. I mean, it's a game changer psychologically, emotionally, and in your wallet.
So tell me specifically how in your firm today you differentiate yourself. How do you add value? What is unique about what you do? What's your proposition, frankly, uh, to the attendees at our conference?
We're still prolific writers, and I have a Frank Talk, and U.S. Global Investors has its weekly investor alert, which covers gold, and we have 100,000 readers in 80 countries. So I think that that's something that's unique and special. And interviews like this, I'm dealing with you. I write about this on Frank Talk, and I think that's what makes it sort of special. And then the other part, when it comes to actually running a gold fund, we have World Precious Minerals, which invests in the explorers and the developers that are close to production. So there's not many gold funds now that do that. In fact, most of them are shut down and they've shrunk. So I think that's what's unique. And I believe we're finally getting into this sort of secular bull market. First go the big caps. My gold ETF, it's made all-time high. That's usually what happens, is the big caps, then the mid caps have this incredible outperform the big caps, and then come the explorers, and that's where you can make your 5 and 10 baggers as a risk, as long as your risk tolerance is there.
Frank, one of the things I've always liked about you as an investor and speculator, frankly, unlike myself, is that you're pretty agnostic. In addition to making money in the gold space, you were a pioneer in the money market space, really, truly a pioneer for a small firm. You went into air travel, which is to say, the jet business, or at least the airline business. And unlike our mutual friend, um, Frank Justra, you are a proponent of crypto. So tell me how an investment theme becomes of interest to you. What is the differentiator that will cause your firm to pick up the cudgel in such widely differentiated products?
Well, gold as a monetary asset has always been for 5,000 years preservation of capital. against currency devaluations. Some currencies are very abrupt and fast, and others are slow. But that's always been the rudder in the sailboat. Bitcoin is a combination of both. And in my research, the similarities are both are decentralized, both are portable. The difference is that 60% of the world wants something tangible, so that's gold, and 40% will buy the concept of something virtual. And that's where our wealth is going to go from baby boomers like you and I, is going to go to millennials, and it's going to go to generations X, Y, and Z. And they grew up in a very different world than we grew up. And they've been used to gamers, and they became coders, and they learn about these games, how they can upgrade to get digital currency back in 2001. So the whole Bitcoin phenomena is really about the generation shift. There's a demographics that's going on. So I look at it as that. I've always said both. I'm probably the only Bitcoiner and gold guy that says both are important decentralized assets. I look at it as being art. I have a Andy Warhol, and I have a Picasso. Well, they're both decentralized as pieces of art, and I like both of them. So I like gold, and I like Bitcoin. So that was sort of the idea of me going down that path. I think the other part was just keeping your brain young and trying to find out where things are going. And I attended a consensus conference in 2017 and realized something big was happening when you got 7,000 people paying $1,000 a ticket to show to a conference back then. And the CEO and controlling shareholder of Fidelity, Abigail Johnson, is the keynote speaker. And she doesn't speak at an investment conference that you and I would attend. She's speaking at a crypto event. So I really thought something big is happening and has been going on. And the whole idea of creating Hive, which Frank was also on the ground floor, was something that was taking place outside of our stocks and bonds and I would call ETF ecosystem. Something big is happening over in this other part of the world. So now I think I was fortunate that I saw that in 2017, and I seeded it with a $5 million institutional play and went as chairman because I couldn't launch an ETF at the time. It just wasn't, it was stopped. And so not until last year did we finally allow the regulators allow an ETF. So I was early in building that out. You know what it's taught me, Rick? You learn from each step in the journey of that is it's all data center business. And if you don't have a data center, you don't have a mobile phone. We don't have this streaming experience of communicating. Everything is around data centers. So that was the big lesson for me in that journey, is to realize there's three types of data centers, and it's like precious metals. There's a gold mine, there's a silver mine, and there's a platinum mine. Well, they're all precious in mining. And over here you have tier one, tier three, tier one, two, and three data centers. So tier three is going to be AI and GPU chips. And over here, tier one is going to be Bitcoin mining. And why are they related to each other? So that's a journey that you learn one business on top of another.
Frank, I've enjoyed listening to your discussions about various aspects of the economy and various investment types for a long time. I've been interested in your quant-driven approach, which makes perfect sense given that that's how you started the brokerage business. To the extent that this interests our viewers and our watchers, how in particular can our viewers learn more about your firm? Who in particular can they contact, and how can they contact this person?
Well, he'll be at your conference, and it's Ralph Aldis, Aldis, and send him an email, RALDIS at usfunds.com. He's a world class top gun, recognized like yourself, Rick, in Canada by institutions as a gold stock picker. And he's extremely knowledgeable, and he's stayed and weathered all the ups and down cycles. So it'll be very exciting for him. He's looking forward to attending your event.
Frank, thank you for 4 decades of effort on behalf of investors, myself in particular. By the way, I was in the 1982 Franco-Nevada financing. Thank you in particular for that. But thank you for your ongoing support and support of our conference business. I look forward to hosting your firm at our conference this year, and I look forward in the future to hosting you yourself at our conference.
Thank you, Rick. And remember to look up because that's how high gold's going.
Thank you, sir.